We start with local politics now. The ANC in Gauteng will emerge united. That's according to the outgoing provincial chair, David Makhura. Makhura says he's confident the new leadership that's set to be elected this weekend will move the province forward. ENCA reporter Lesufi has been following the conference for us, and he joins us now live from Benoni. Lesufi, very much not your first elective conference of the season, and there were delays, as we've seen at all of these provincial conferences so far. But what did David Makhura touch on in that parting address? Something similar, I assume, as to the messages that we've heard elsewhere at the ANC provincial elective conferences that have taken place so far.
Marcel, you are right in saying that there were similar messages that have been shared, but it's all in terms of the introspection of the ANC. They are preaching that there needs to be renewal and there needs to be unity within the party, that these factions that we see that are sometimes referred to as lobby groups, as they move towards conference, they should in fact at the end of the conference be able to come together and unite and be able to bring about a united front that will be focused on sorting out issues for the public or issues that are faced by society, but more than anything, it is service delivery issues and also issues of governance where they are not able to govern. They also spoke about the fact that there is an issue with people not having come out to cast their votes during the last local government election, saying that that is because of their, in fact, a decline in terms of their integrity. So those are some of the things that the ANC outgoing chairperson, David Makhura, had spoken about. But I can tell you that while he was able to successfully open this particular conference together with the national chairperson of the ANC, Gwede Mantashe, there are still some issues they had to deal with. There were delays, in fact, so they were not spared in terms of some of those delays that we've been seeing. They were supposed to start at around 10 a.m. They were only able to start at around 3 p.m. because they had outstanding issues that they had to deal with. What we do understand is that there was an NEC meeting that took place late yesterday, last night from 7 p.m. that ended early this morning at around 4 a.m. And this NEC meeting was essentially speaking about issues of whether this conference can continue and what is outstanding as far as some of the issues are concerned. And I can tell you that the issue of the quarantined votes, 19 votes that are quarantined in Ekurhuleni, is an issue. It's a thorny issue within the ANC. But according to what we've heard from the provincial secretary, the NEC decided that yes, this conference must continue, but that the PEC that will be elected here must be the one to deal with issues of those quarantined votes in the region of Ekurhuleni. Now, this brings about a problem in terms of the adoption of the credentials here, because those quarantined votes essentially mean that the REC in Ekurhuleni is not legit, it is not legitimate until they are able to deal with those issues. So what they have decided is that they will be also quarantining the branches of Ekurhuleni, the votes that are coming from Ekurhuleni, until they are able to deal with this. This is post this particular conference. This is a decision that was taken by the PEC together with NEC deployees, but I can tell you that there is still a milestone to achieve. There's still a mountain for them to climb, and that is to be able to convince all of these delegates, voting delegates, to say that they must proceed in such a manner where they will once again have a conference that has quarantined votes. And they're saying that this must be sorted out by the newly elected PEC, to say that they must be able to sort out issues of the quarantine votes within Ekurhuleni first, and then they'll be able to tally up those votes that will be casted today. So that is something they'll need to achieve. We've been able to speak to some of the members from the Ekurhuleni region about this, and they are basically saying that they don't understand why they're at conference and their votes will be quarantined. So those are some of the issues that they'll need to be dealt with. And the prediction here from myself is that it's going to be a long night in terms of trying to adopt those credentials, because Ekurhuleni branch members are certainly not going to take it lying, the fact that they will not be able to be tallied as far as the vote count is concerned, because their votes will be quarantined until the issue of their region is sorted out.
Lesufi, before we continue our conversation, I believe we do have a soundbite from David Makhura. Let's take a listen.
This report to you, comrade delegates, I am absolutely confident, without any doubt, that the ANC in Gauteng will emerge from this conference with a leadership, I have no doubt whatsoever, with a leadership that's going to move our province to the next level. I have absolutely no doubt at all. So in that sense, so this conference is going to be a festival of ideas, not a festival of chess, not a festival of insults, a festival of ideas amongst comrades sent by branches to come here and make sure the key issues of where they come from are on the table and in the resolutions, and they go back and report that we have made sure that the problems of the West Rand, the problems of Sidibeng, the problems of Tshwane, the problems of Ekurhuleni, and the problems of Johannesburg have been on the agenda of the conference of the ANC. So we are meeting, therefore, in Gauteng in a very dynamic, evolving situation. The global situation is evolving is very dynamic. The continent is going also through a set of interesting dynamics, and both our nation and our province are also going through several dynamics. So
now, Lindo, as you say, you're expecting it to be a long night. There's obviously an agenda that they now need to catch up on because there was a delay in starting. But there have also been other issues that have come up. I read elsewhere about branches that were threatening to hold things up amid those accusations you spoke about of delegates being unfairly excluded from the conference. There was also criticism from elsewhere in the party that there was too much of a heavy security presence at the party as well. So there was a little bit of a war of words there. So much happening on the peripheral of this conference, but I suppose that was always to be expected with Gauteng being such an important province for the ANC. What are you expecting from that agenda, and if they will be able to catch up, and from any of these issues and I suppose some factional fighting that's happening on the sidelines of this conference?
Will be able to take this particular province forward. He also emphasized the fact that this should not just be an elective conference. It should, in fact, be more than just that. It should be a festival of ideas. And some of the ideas he was speaking about were issues around pandemics that we've been facing as the entire world, saying that really there needs to be a way in which South Africa as a country develops policies where they are able to deal with pandemics differently and in a more plausible manner, saying that it can't just be a shutting down of the economy, it can't just be a shutting down of livelihoods. We need to be able to understand that these things will be coming from in the near future in terms of the epidemics as well as the pandemics. But he also spoke about the fact that there needs to be a better preparedness as far as policies are concerned, as far as strategies are concerned when it comes to dealing with such issues. I'm not sure if you have that bites lined up, but if you do, perhaps take a listen to the Premier just giving us a sense really of what it is that he believes should be achieved with this festival of ideas when it comes to issues that will be facing the country, not just today, but also in the future.
Unfortunately, we seem to have lost our link to Lindo Kuhle there, but we thank him for that update, reporting to us live there from the ANC's Gauteng conference taking place in Benoni. We'll sure to get updates from him throughout.